The hidden bathroom habits that could be secretly sabotaging your freshness. As we gracefully age, our bodies change in countless ways. Some changes are expected, while others surprise us, like suddenly feeling self-conscious about body odors we never struggled with before. Many senior women find themselves wondering why, despite their best efforts to stay clean and fresh, they sometimes notice subtle, unpleasant smells that seem to come out of nowhere. The truth? It is not always about hygiene itself, but about how we practice hygiene. Some well-intentioned habits, especially in the bathroom, may actually disrupt our body's natural balance and make things worse instead of better. From overusing soaps to neglecting small items like towels and bathrobes, certain routines can quietly compromise our freshness without us even realizing it. In this video, we will uncover 8 bathroom habits that doctors warn can make senior women smell worse as they age. More importantly, you will learn simple, effective solutions that can help you stay fresh, confident, and radiant, no matter your age. These aren't complicated changes, they are practical adjustments you can start today. Let's dive into these surprising habits and unlock the small secrets that can make a huge difference. 1. Using too much soap. Down there, when overcleaning backfires. For many senior women, the pursuit of cleanliness becomes almost ritualistic. After all, we grew up being taught that cleanliness is next to godliness. We were encouraged to scrub, to lather, to disinfect every inch of our bodies. And when it comes to our intimate areas, we're even more vigilant, perhaps too much so. In my younger years, I too fell into this common trap. I believed that the more soap I used on my intimate areas, the cleaner and fresher I would feel. I stocked my bathroom with scented body washes, feminine hygiene sprays, and specialized intimate wipes, convinced they were keeping me pristine. Every trip to the drugstore added another floral-scented product to my collection, each promising to eliminate odor and promote freshness. But as the years went on, I began experiencing issues I didn't understand: persistent irritation, occasional itchiness, and subtle but bothersome odors that seemed to grow worse over time. Ironically, the harder I tried to stay clean, the more these problems escalated. It felt unfair, even confusing. After all, wasn't I doing everything right? The truth is, our intimate areas are incredibly self-sufficient ecosystems. The vagina, specifically, maintains its own natural pH level, typically between 3.8 and 4.5. This slightly acidic environment supports the growth of healthy bacteria, like lactobacilli, which act as protective soldiers against harmful bacteria and yeast. When this delicate balance is disrupted by harsh soaps, fragrances, or overcleaning, trouble begins. Heavily scented soaps, alcohol-based products, and even many gentle feminine hygiene items actually strip away these beneficial bacteria and disrupt pH balance. This creates an open door for yeast overgrowth, bacterial vaginosis, and other infections. Suddenly, instead of eliminating odor, you may find yourself dealing with an entirely new and often stronger odor caused by an imbalance you inadvertently triggered. Doctors have seen this pattern again and again. Women who are simply trying to stay fresh but are, unintentionally, sabotaging their body's natural defense system. In fact, overuse of soaps is one of the leading non-infectious causes of vaginal irritation among older women. As estrogen levels decline with age, vaginal tissues become thinner and more sensitive, making them even more vulnerable to irritation from chemical ingredients. Once I learned the science behind this, I radically changed my approach. The most important lesson? Less is more. The vaginal canal itself is self-cleaning and needs no external interference. The mucus produced inside naturally flushes away dead cells, bacteria, and debris. External cleansing, the vulva, should be done gently, ideally with warm water alone. If you feel the need to use soap, dermatologists and gynecologists recommend only fragrance-free, pH-balanced cleansers specifically designed for intimate areas. And even then, apply sparingly to the outer skin only, never internally. I also tossed out all the feminine sprays, wipes, and douches that had become staples in my bathroom for years. These products often contain alcohol, parabens, and fragrances that worsen dryness, itching, and irritation, especially for postmenopausal women. The more natural my routine became, the more my body thanked me. Since adopting these changes, the chronic irritation I once thought was normal has disappeared. The subtle odors I struggled with have vanished. Most importantly, I now trust my body's natural processes instead of trying to control them. My gynecologist emphasized it best. Your body knows what it's doing. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is simply step aside and let it work. If you ever notice persistent odor, discomfort, or unusual discharge, don't automatically reach for stronger soaps or sprays. Instead, consult your healthcare provider. Sometimes these symptoms indicate an underlying condition that needs medical attention, not more soap. In the end, achieving lasting freshness isn't about scrubbing harder. It's about respecting the natural intelligence of your body, simplifying your hygiene routine, and letting your body's perfectly designed system thrive. 2. Not washing towels. Often enough. The hidden source of odor. Let us shift the spotlight to an everyday item we often overlook: the humble bath towel. At first glance, your bath towel seems innocent enough. After all, you use it right after a shower, when your body is at its cleanest. You gently pat your skin dry and then hang it neatly back on the hook. What harm could possibly come from that? As it turns out, more than we often realize. I too once believed that towels rarely needed washing. I would reuse my towel for a week, sometimes even longer, convinced that since it was drying a clean body, it must be staying clean itself. It wasn't until I began noticing a persistent musty odor, even after my most meticulous showers, that I started questioning this routine. Here's the unpleasant truth that I, and many others, often ignore. Towels are perfect breeding grounds for bacteria, fungi, and even mold. Despite appearances, every time we dry off, we transfer dead skin cells, body oil, sweat, and microscopic organisms onto the towel's surface. Even if we feel spotless stepping out of the shower, our towels quickly absorb more than we think. The problem doesn't stop there. Bathrooms, with their warm, humid environments, make ideal conditions for these microbes to flourish. After all, humidity is moisture in the air, and moisture fuels bacterial growth. The soft, dense fibers of towels trap this moisture, creating cozy little sanctuaries where bacteria and mildew thrive. If your bathroom lacks good ventilation, this problem worsens significantly. What's even more alarming is that these bacteria and fungi don't want to just stay on the towel. They're transferred back onto your skin every time you reuse the towel. Over time, this contributes not only to persistent odors, but also to skin irritation, clogged pores, and even minor infections. For older women, whose skin becomes thinner and more fragile with age, this becomes an even greater concern. According to dermatologists, bath towels should ideally be washed after every 3-4 uses, but in particularly humid climates or poorly ventilated bathrooms, you may need to wash them even more frequently, sometimes after every 2 uses. This is not just about maintaining cleanliness, but about protecting your skin's integrity, reducing exposure to harmful microbes, and preventing subtle, lingering body odors that seem to return no matter how well you wash. Once I realized this, I completely restructured my towel routine. Now I operate on a simple rotation system. I keep 3 towels in circulation. 1 is in use, 1 is drying after being washed, and 1 is always clean and ready. This way, I never have to scramble for a clean towel, and I always know that what I'm using is fresh and free of microbial buildup. But even washing towels isn't always straightforward. How you wash them matters greatly. Towels should be washed in hot water, at least 60 degrees C, 140 degrees, to kill bacteria and mildew effectively. Using fragrance-free, gentle detergents helps avoid skin irritation, while avoiding fabric softeners prevents residue buildup that can reduce the towel's absorbency and trap odors. After washing, ensure your towels are fully dried before putting them away. Folding and storing a damp towel is essentially an invitation for mold. If you air dry towels, spread them out fully to allow airflow on both sides. In humid climates, using a small dehumidifier or running an exhaust fan can help your towels dry faster and reduce moisture levels in the bathroom. Since adopting this practice, I've noticed remarkable changes. My skin feels fresher, cleaner, and less prone to irritation. That musty, wet towel smell no longer haunts my bathroom, And perhaps most surprisingly, I feel genuinely cleaner after showers. No lingering odors, no suspicious dampness on my skin hours later. This tiny habit adjustment has transformed not just my towel routine but my entire hygiene experience. It's a small change with enormous payoffs. If you too have been letting your towel hang far too long, consider this your friendly nudge. Wash it regularly, dry it thoroughly, and let your skin truly enjoy the cleanliness it deserves. Ignoring your feet, the silent culprit behind unwanted odor. Let's be honest for a moment, feet are not exactly glamorous. For many women, especially as they age, foot care often falls to the bottom of the self-care list. We scrub our faces, moisturize our skin, comb our hair meticulously, but when it comes to our feet, we tend to give them a mere passing glance. After all, they are tucked safely inside socks and shoes for most of the day. Out of sight, out of mind, right? I was guilty of this neglect for years. My entire foot care routine consisted of letting water run over my feet during a shower, maybe giving them a half-hearted swipe with a soapy washcloth and calling it done. I assumed that since my feet weren't visibly dirty, they didn't need much attention. But as time went on, I began to notice an embarrassing issue creeping into my daily life, the unmistakable sour odor emanating from my shoes and feet, even when I hadn't been particularly active or sweaty. At first I blamed my shoes or the materials of my socks. I tried using various foot sprays, powders, and even purchased expensive new shoes. But nothing seemed to fix the problem permanently. That S, when I decided to truly investigate what was happening with my feet. And what I discovered was both enlightening and frankly a little shocking. As we age, our skin's natural ability to shed dead cells slows down. This slowdown is especially evident on areas like the feet, where skin is naturally thicker. Over time, dead skin accumulates, particularly around the heels and between the toes, areas that are often forgotten or poorly cleaned. This buildup creates the perfect feast for odor-causing bacteria, fungi, and yeast to thrive. Add in the fact that feet have over 250,000 sweat glands, and it's a recipe for persistent odor. What surprised me even more was how moisture contributed to this issue. Even on cool days, feet perspire. The enclosed space inside shoes and socks traps that moisture, creating a humid, warm environment that bacteria love. And if you happen to wear the same shoes repeatedly, without allowing them to fully dry out, you're essentially creating a cycle that feeds the bacteria and intensifies the smell. The problem was not that my feet were inherently dirty. It was that my neglect allowed microscopic debris, moisture, and bacteria to accumulate and flourish. Once I understood this, I completely revamped my approach to foot care. And the results have been remarkable. Now, every shower includes dedicated time for my feet. I spend a full minute gently scrubbing every surface with a soft washcloth and mild, fragrance-free soap. I pay special attention to the soles, heels, and especially between my toes, where bacteria and moisture love to hide. For exfoliation, I use a pumice stone once a week to remove any dead skin buildup without irritating my skin. But the real game changer was my drying routine. After showering, I take a clean towel and carefully pat my feet dry, especially between each toe. This one small step has made a significant difference because even a tiny bit of retained moisture can lead to bacterial growth and odor. In addition to my daily routine, I've adopted some preventive measures as well. During warmer months or when I know I'll be wearing closed-toe shoes for long periods, I sprinkle antifungal foot powder into my socks and shoes to help absorb excess moisture. This helps maintain dryness and minimizes odor throughout the day. Foot care isn't just about vanity or odor control, it's about health, especially as we age. Neglecting your feet can lead to more than just an unpleasant smell. Issues like athlete's foot, cracked heels, fungal infections, and even ulcers can develop, especially for women with diabetes or circulatory issues, where foot health becomes critical to overall well-being. There's also a psychological component that often gets overlooked. Clean, healthy feet contribute to overall confidence. The simple act of slipping off your shoes without worrying about odor or discomfort is liberating and empowering. You feel fresher, lighter, and more at ease in your own skin. Since incorporating these changes, not only have my feet stayed fresh, but I've also eliminated the chronic odor that used to follow me. My shoes stay cleaner, My socks smell fresher, and my confidence has soared. I no longer hesitate to kick off my shoes when visiting friends or relaxing at home. The lesson here is simple yet profound. Neglecting your feet may seem harmless in the short term, but over time it can become one of the hidden culprits behind persistent body odor, infections, and discomfort. A little attention goes a long way. So, next time you step into the shower, give your feet the care they deserve. They've carried you through life, supported your every step, and they deserve more than a casual rinse. With just a few small adjustments, you'll not only eliminate odor, but also improve your foot health, confidence, and overall sense of well-being. The invisible danger: leaving the toilet lid open. When flushing, let's talk about a habit that seems so harmless, so trivial, that most people never give it a second thought: flushing the toilet with the lid open. I used to do it every single day without ever considering the consequences. After all, who would imagine that something as simple as flushing a toilet could have any meaningful impact on personal hygiene, let alone contribute to persistent body odor? But once I learned the science behind this everyday action, it completely changed my bathroom habits, and it may change yours too. When you flush a toilet with the lid up, you're not just disposing of waste, you're triggering a microscopic explosion. This phenomenon is called the toilet plume. Each flush releases a swirling cloud of tiny aerosolized particles that can include bacteria, viruses, and other contaminants. These particles shoot up into the air at surprising speeds, sometimes reaching heights of 3 to 6 feet, and can remain suspended in the air for several minutes or even hours before settling on surrounding surfaces. Think for a moment about everything that surrounds your toilet: your toothbrush sitting innocently on the counter, your hairbrush, your towels, your makeup, your skincare products, and yes, even your own skin if you're standing nearby. With every flush, this invisible mist is landing everywhere. And the more often you flush without closing the lid, the more layers of microscopic bacteria, viruses, and waste particles you're spreading around your supposedly clean bathroom. Now consider that many bacteria found in human waste, such as E. coli, salmonella, or norovirus, are resilient and can survive on surfaces for days. You may be diligent about wiping down your counters or washing your towels, but if you leave your toilet lid up, you're constantly recontaminating your entire bathroom environment. The danger doesn't stop at germs alone. If you're reusing chemical cleaners in your toilet bowl, which most of us do, the plume can also contain aerosolized particles of those chemicals. Breathing in a mist of chlorine-based toilet cleaner, ammonia, or other harsh substances is not only unpleasant but potentially harmful to your lungs and respiratory system, particularly if you have asthma or other respiratory conditions. And yes, believe it or not, this habit can even contribute to body odor. When bacteria and chemical particles settle onto your towels, your bathrobe, or even your skin, they can subtly interact with sweat and body oils, creating unpleasant smells that are difficult to pinpoint. You may think your deodorant isn't working or your detergent isn't strong enough when, in reality, these invisible contaminants are quietly amplifying odor issues. Once I understood all this, I realized that leaving the toilet lid up was one of the most silent and sneaky contributors to the lingering bathroom smell I could never quite eliminate, even after scrubbing every visible surface. The solution, thankfully, is incredibly simple. Close the lid before you flush. It takes mere seconds, but the difference is enormous. Since adopting this habit, I've noticed my bathroom smells consistently fresher. My towels no longer carry that faint, damp, musty scent. My skin feels cleaner after showers, and the subtle odor that used to cling to my bathrobe and pajamas has vanished entirely. It's like giving your entire bathroom a silent, deep clean every single time you flush. Beyond personal hygiene, this small adjustment also reduces your risk of exposure to gastrointestinal illnesses that can spread via airborne bacteria, especially for older women whose immune systems may not be as robust as they once were. Minimizing exposure to harmful microbes is an essential part of staying healthy. For households with multiple people, the benefits multiply even further. If one person brings home a stomach virus or bacterial infection, a simple habit like closing the toilet lid can help reduce the chances of others getting sick. In my home, I took it one step further. I added a simple reminder note near the toilet handle. Close before you flush, to help everyone in the household build the habit. Within a few weeks, it became second nature for all of us. For those who may have mobility issues or use toilets without lids, such as public restrooms, there are still steps you can take to minimize risk. Stand back while flushing, wash your hands thoroughly afterward, and avoid setting personal items like phones or purses on bathroom counters whenever possible. In our quest for better hygiene as we age, it's often the smallest habits that make the biggest difference. Closing the toilet lid may seem trivial, but in reality, it's one of the most effective ways to maintain a clean, fresh, and truly hygienic bathroom environment. You don't need fancy gadgets or expensive products. You simply need awareness. And that awareness can protect your health, your home, and yes, even your confidence. The underwear mistake that's sabotaging your hygiene. Let's be honest for a moment. Many of us have done it. After a long day, you climb into bed still wearing the same pair of underwear you've had on since morning. You tell yourself, I didn't sweat much today. I wasn't that active. It's fine. And honestly, it feels fine. Until you learn the hidden consequences of this seemingly harmless habit. I too used to think it was unnecessary to change my underwear before bed if I hadn't done anything particularly strenuous that day. But what I didn't realize was that even on quiet, inactive days, my body was still accumulating sweat, oils, bacteria, and dead skin cells, all trapped in my undergarments. Throughout the day, your intimate area is a warm, enclosed space. Even if you don't feel it, your body constantly produces moisture, perspiration from heat, natural secretions, friction from movement, and traces of urine after using the bathroom. All of this gets absorbed into your underwear's fabric and stays there. Now imagine wearing that same fabric for an additional 7 or 8 hours while you sleep. Instead of giving your skin a chance to breathe and recover overnight, you're essentially prolonging the exposure to bacteria, yeast, and moisture. And when moisture and warmth combine for extended periods, it creates a perfect environment for unwanted guests. Odor-causing bacteria, fungal infections, irritation, and skin imbalances. As we age, our skin's natural barrier weakens, and hormonal changes, especially after menopause, can alter the vaginal environment, making us even more susceptible to irritation, dryness, and infections like bacterial vaginosis or yeast overgrowth. The longer we trap moisture and bacteria against delicate skin overnight, the greater the risk of waking up with odor, itchiness, or discomfort. I learned this lesson after experiencing a series of mild but persistent irritations. My gynecologist gently explained, "It is not that you unhygienic. It is that you overextending the exposure time. Your skin needs a chance to rest and breathe at night." That single statement changed my entire approach to bedtime hygiene. The solution is both simple and luxurious. Change into a fresh pair of breathable underwear before bed, or skip underwear altogether if you are comfortable doing so. Many women swear by sleeping commando, without underwear, for precisely this reason. It gives your skin full ventilation, reduces trapped moisture, and helps maintain a healthy balance of natural bacteria. If you prefer to wear something, opt for lightweight cotton or moisture-wicking fabrics that allow airflow and help draw moisture away from the skin. Avoid synthetic materials like nylon, polyester, or spandex, which tend to trap heat and moisture close to your body. Since making this small adjustment, I've noticed a huge improvement. My mornings feel fresher, my skin is calmer, and that vague morning stale feeling is gone. It is one of those subtle lifestyle upgrades that feels surprisingly indulgent, like a little spa treatment you give yourself every night. Here's a practical routine that I now follow, which I recommend for every woman, especially as we grow older. 1. Bedtime hygiene refresh. Before slipping into bed, take a moment for a quick freshening up of your intimate area with warm water and a soft cloth. No need for soaps or wipes that could disrupt your pH balance. Water is enough to gently cleanse any accumulated sweat or discharge from the day. 2. Change into clean sleepwear. Always switch into freshly laundered pajamas and underwear. Even if your outer clothing feels clean, underwear carries bacteria and moisture directly against the skin. 3. Choose breathable fabrics. Cotton underwear and loose-fitting pajamas made from natural fibers allow air circulation and prevent overheating. 4. Consider sleeping without underwear. If you're comfortable, let your body breathe fully overnight. Many women who adopt this habit report better skin health and reduced irritation. 5. Laundry habits matter. Wash your underwear and pajamas in mild, fragrance-free detergent, using warm water to eliminate bacteria without irritating sensitive skin. Avoid fabric softeners, which can leave residues that irritate delicate areas. You may think, does such a small habit really make that big a difference? The answer is a resounding yes. As women age, maintaining skin health and preventing odor isn't a T about aggressive cleaning or harsh products. It's about giving your body the right conditions to balance and protect itself naturally. In fact, gynecologists and dermatologists increasingly emphasize prevention over correction. Rather than waiting for irritation or odor to appear, adopting gentle hygiene routines and breathable bedtime habits now can help preserve comfort, confidence, and intimate health for years to come. There is also a deeper layer to this, one that is easy to overlook: self-respect. Taking 5 extra minutes at night to care for your body sends a powerful message: I value myself. As women, we spend so many years taking care of others, our families, our work, our communities. But our bodies deserve that same nurturing attention. For me, changing my underwear at night isn't just hygiene, it is a nightly ritual of self-care. I slip into bed knowing I've done something kind for my body, something small that pays big dividends in how fresh, comfortable and confident I feel the next day. Ladies, never underestimate the power of small changes. Sometimes the most transformative results come from the simplest shifts in routine. 6. The silent offender: your bathroom trash bin. When we think of hygiene in the bathroom, we often picture wiping down the sink, scrubbing the toilet, and keeping our mirrors spotless. But very few people give much thought to one of the most underrated hygiene hazards sitting quietly in the corner: the bathroom trash bin. I must confess, for years I was one of those people who simply emptied the bin when it got full, never realizing the role it was playing in sabotaging my bathroom's freshness. At first glance, it seems harmless. The bin is small, tucked out of the way, and we usually toss only minor items into it: tissues, cotton swabs, makeup wipes, empty toothpaste boxes, hygiene product wrappers. But what we don't see is how these seemingly harmless disposables accumulate moisture, organic debris, and odor-causing bacteria over time. Let's take a closer look. The very nature of bathroom waste makes it different from regular household trash. Used tissues may still be damp with mucus or moisture. Hygiene product wrappers may carry trace amounts of bodily fluids. Cotton pads may hold makeup residue and oils. When you toss these into a lidded, poorly ventilated bin, you're essentially creating a warm, dark, humid microenvironment, the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, mold, mildew, and unpleasant odors. Every time I entered my bathroom, I would sometimes catch a faint, musty smell that didn't seem to come from the toilet, sink, or floor. It wasn't overpowering, just a subtle, sour scent that clung stubbornly to the air. I assumed maybe it was from humidity or cleaning products, but when I finally traced it to my small trash bin, I was shocked. Even though I was diligent about cleaning the bathroom weekly, my bin, sitting silently, had become a hidden source of odor. The problem becomes even more pronounced as we age. Our sense of smell can gradually diminish over time. What may have once been a noticeable odor can become something we slowly stop detecting, even as guests might pick up on it right away. For older women who are particularly conscious about maintaining a clean, fresh home, this small oversight can quietly undermine the impression of overall hygiene. The good news? This is one of the easiest hygiene issues to fix, and the results are immediate. Since I changed my habits, here's my simple system that keeps my bathroom bin clean, odor-free, and truly fresh. 1. Empty the bin regularly, even when it's not full. I now make it a rule to empty my bathroom trash every 2 to 3 days, no matter how much or how little is inside. Waiting until it's overflowing only allows bacteria to multiply and odors to intensify. Frequent emptying prevents buildup and keeps bacteria populations low. I used to throw items directly into the bin, thinking liners were wasteful. But I've learned that using small, inexpensive liners, even repurposed plastic grocery bags, makes a huge difference. Liners prevent moisture from seeping into the bin itself and make disposal far easier and more hygienic. 3. Wipe down the bin weekly. Once a week, I give the bin a quick but thorough wipe using disinfectant wipes or a spray solution of white vinegar and water. This not only kills bacteria, but also neutralizes any lingering odor molecules clinging to the bin's surface. 4. Let the bin air out. If possible, after emptying and wiping down the bin, I leave it open to air dry for a few hours before placing a new liner. This ensures there's no trapped moisture creating hidden bacteria pockets. 5. Use odor absorbers. One of my favorite tricks is to sprinkle a bit of baking soda or place a small sachet of activated charcoal or essential oils at the bottom of the bin liner. These natural odor absorbers help neutralize any smells before they start to build up. Since adopting these small changes, my bathroom has felt fresher, cleaner, and more inviting than ever before. That lingering, musty smell that used to puzzle me, completely gone. There's also a psychological benefit that's often overlooked. Knowing that even the smallest corner of my bathroom is thoroughly maintained gives me a sense of calm and control, especially as I get older. Aging gracefully isn't just about skincare routines or diets. It's about cultivating small, sustainable habits that make every part of your living space feel like a sanctuary. Additionally, keeping your trash bin clean helps minimize potential health risks, especially for older adults whose immune systems may not be as robust. Bacteria and mold spores from neglected trash can easily become airborne or settle on surfaces you regularly touch, including your toothbrush, hairbrush, or skincare products. For women prone to respiratory issues, asthma, or allergies, this seemingly minor hygiene lapse can exacerbate symptoms. If you share your bathroom with others, family members, grandchildren, or visitors, keeping the trash bin clean also ensures you're protecting everyone's health, not just your own. A fresh-smelling, sanitized bathroom leaves a lasting impression and reflects a deeper level of care and attention. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Hygiene isn't just about the big, visible tasks. It's also about the small, often overlooked details that quietly contribute to your overall sense of comfort and confidence. A well-maintained trash bin is like a secret guardian of your bathroom's freshness. Once you incorporate this habit into your weekly routine, you'll wonder how you ever ignored it before. The cozy culprit: unwashed bathrobes. There's a special kind of comfort in wrapping yourself in a warm, fluffy bathrobe after a relaxing shower. It's like hugging yourself, cocooned in softness, feeling squeaky clean and refreshed. For many older women, that bathrobe becomes a trusted companion, a symbol of self-care and quiet indulgence after every cleansing ritual. But hidden beneath that cozy embrace lies a hygiene trap that few people talk about: unwashed or rarely washed bathrobes. For years, I too was guilty of this oversight. My bathrobe hung loyally behind the bathroom door, waiting for me after every shower. Because I only wore it on clean skin, I naively believed it stayed fresh for weeks. After all, if I'm clean, how dirty could the robe possibly get? The answer, as I would learn, was more unsettling than I imagined. Let's peel back the layers of what's really happening. Even after a shower, your body isn't completely dry when you slip into that robe. Minute amounts of moisture, from water droplets, body oils, and even residual sweat, transfer to the fabric. And where there's moisture, there's an open invitation for bacteria, yeast, and mildew to set up camp. Unlike towels, which we instinctively wash every few uses, bathrobes often get overlooked. They feel soft, they smell okay, or at least we think they do, and because we only wear them for short periods, it doesn't feel urgent to launder them. But therein lies the danger. Damp fibers create a humid, enclosed environment where bacteria thrive quietly, day after day. The risk is even greater in bathrooms with poor ventilation, where steam from hot showers keeps the air moist. The bathrobe, often hung in the same environment, never fully dries between uses. Over time, that initial clean freshness is replaced by a faint sourness, one that clings to the robe and eventually your skin. For women in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, where skin may become thinner and more sensitive, exposure to bacteria or mold trapped in unwashed robes can lead to irritation, rashes, or even fungal infections. Those seemingly harmless fibers become a breeding ground for potential skin problems that quietly chip away at your comfort and confidence. And let's not forget, as we age, our sense of smell may subtly diminish, allowing us to grow nose blind to those subtle, musty odors that visitors may easily pick up on. What feels cozy to us may be quietly betraying our hygiene without us even realizing it. The simple solution? Create a consistent bathrobe care routine, a tiny habit with powerful payoffs. Since discovering the impact of my own neglected robe, I've adopted a simple 3-step system that keeps my post-shower sanctuary truly fresh. 1. Wash your robe weekly without fail. No more stretching the time between washes. Once a week is the golden rule. If you shower daily, your robe accumulates enough moisture and residue to warrant regular cleaning. 2. Own at least 2 robes for rotation. This simple change ensures that you always have a fully dry, fresh robe available while the other one is being laundered. It also gives each robe enough time to fully dry after each wash. 3. Hang your robe where air can circulate. Avoid hanging it on cramped hooks behind doors. Instead, choose an open towel rack or a spot near a window or ventilation fan. The more air circulation, the less moisture retention. Bonus tips for optimal freshness. Use a gentle, fragrance-free detergent that's kind to aging skin. Avoid fabric softeners, which can trap moisture in thick bathrobe fibers. Occasionally add a cup of white vinegar to your wash cycle to neutralize any lingering odors. If possible, line dry your robe outdoors in the sun. Sunlight is nature's powerful antibacterial ally. Since incorporating these simple steps, I've experienced an unexpected upgrade to my entire self-care routine. My robe now feels luxuriously clean every time I slip it on. No hidden odors, no lingering dampness, just pure comfort and peace of mind. More importantly, I no longer have that uneasy feeling wondering whether guests might pick up on faint, musty smells in my home. My bathroom stays fresher overall, my skin feels healthier, and even my mood lifts with that little boost of freshness each morning. As we age, these seemingly tiny adjustments become powerful acts of self-respect. Aging gracefully isn't just about looking youthful, it's about feeling vibrant, confident, and comfortable in every layer of our lives, right down to the robe that hugs us after a shower. The bathrobe may be soft, but bacteria are ruthless. By staying proactive, we can enjoy that cozy comfort without sacrificing hygiene or well-being. 8. The hidden hygiene trap. Forgetting to clean under your arms. After shaving. Shaving our underarms seems like one of the most basic hygiene habits. For many women, it becomes part of the regular routine. Shave, rinse, apply deodorant, and move on with the day. It's such a familiar cycle that we rarely stop to question whether we're doing it as thoroughly as we should. Yet hidden beneath this simple ritual lies a surprising hygiene pitfall that many older women unknowingly fall into: forgetting to properly clean under the arms after shaving. For years, I believed that shaving alone was enough to keep my underarms fresh and odor-free. After all, removing the hair means removing the very place where sweat and bacteria cling, right? That was the logic, and it made sense. But as I entered my 50s and beyond, I started noticing something unexpected. Even after shaving, there was still a faint, stubborn odor lingering by midday. What was I missing? The answer came from my dermatologist during a routine visit. Shaving isn't the full solution. In fact, shaving introduces a new set of hygiene challenges that require extra attention. What happens when you shave? When we shave, the razor doesn't just cut the hair, it also scrapes away dead skin cells, residual deodorant, oils, sweat, and bacteria. In many ways, it's like exfoliating, but without the thorough rinsing that usually follows a facial scrub. The debris dislodged by the blade stays right there on the surface of the skin, especially in the tiny pores and crevices where hair once was. And underarms, unlike most other areas of skin, are a perfect environment for bacteria to thrive. Dark, warm, moist, and full of apocrine sweat glands that secrete proteins and lipids, ideal food for bacteria. Once the bacteria break down these proteins, they produce the familiar, unpleasant odor associated with body odor. When the debris left after shaving isn't properly washed away, it becomes a feast for these bacteria. The freshly shaved skin, with microscopic nicks and open pores, makes it even easier for bacteria to settle in. And over time, this can lead not just to stronger odor, but also to skin irritation, inflammation, and even infection. Why older women are more vulnerable? As we age, our skin becomes thinner and more sensitive. The regenerative process slows down, meaning skin doesn't heal as quickly from microabrasions caused by shaving. In addition, hormone changes can affect sweat composition and skin oil production, making the underarm area more prone to odor and irritation if not carefully managed. Moreover, many older women rely more on deodorants and antiperspirants, which often contain aluminum-based compounds and heavy fragrances. These substances accumulate on the skin, layering with each application, especially when applied right after shaving when pores are still open. Without proper cleansing, these residues compound the problem, further irritating the skin and trapping odor-causing bacteria. The simple fix: mindful post-shave cleansing. The solution to this hidden hygiene problem is surprisingly simple, but rarely practiced. After shaving, take a few extra moments to gently but thoroughly cleanse your underarms. Here's my updated routine, which has made an enormous difference. 1. Rinse immediately with warm water. Right after shaving, I let warm water flow over the area to remove the loose debris, shaving cream residue, and any loosened skin cells. 2. Gently cleanse with a soft washcloth. I apply a mild, fragrance-free, pH-balanced cleanser designed for sensitive skin and use a soft washcloth to lightly wipe the area. This helps ensure any lingering dead skin cells, oils, and bacteria are washed away without further irritating the freshly shaved skin. 3. Pat dry with a clean towel. Rubbing can irritate delicate skin, so I gently pat the area dry, ensuring no moisture remains in the folds of the underarm. 4. Allow the skin to breathe before applying deodorant. I give my skin a few minutes to air dry and calm down before applying deodorant or antiperspirant. This short breathing window allows any microcuts to close and prevents chemicals from being absorbed too quickly into open pores. 5. Occasional deep cleanse. Once a week, I use a very gentle exfoliating glove on my underarms to remove any buildup that may accumulate from deodorant and sweat. But I avoid doing this on freshly shaved days to prevent irritation. Since adopting this approach, I've noticed a remarkable improvement not only in how my underarms smell, but also in how they feel. The subtle midday odor I once experienced has disappeared. My skin feels softer, less irritated, and surprisingly, even the amount of deodorant I need has decreased. The surprising bonus: long-term skin health. Keeping underarms clean after shaving does more than just prevent odor. Over time, it helps reduce hyperpigmentation, darkening of the underarm skin, a common concern for older women due to irritation and buildup. Clean, hydrated skin heals better and looks healthier. Proper post-shave care also helps prevent ingrown hairs, razor bumps, itchiness, dry, flaky patches. In short, this tiny act of mindful hygiene supports the overall appearance, comfort, and confidence that every woman deserves, especially as we navigate the changes that come with age. The empowerment of small habits. Often, it's not the big, complicated beauty routines that bring us the most profound benefits. It's the small, easily overlooked details that create lasting change. This simple shift in my underarm care routine has made my mornings smoother, my skin healthier, and my confidence stronger. As women, we deserve to feel fresh, clean, and comfortable at every stage of life. Our bodies work tirelessly for us. The least we can do is give them the gentle, respectful care they deserve. Aging doesn't mean losing control over how we feel or present ourselves. As we've explored, these 8 simple yet crucial bathroom habits can either silently sabotage or significantly support your personal hygiene and confidence. Often, it's not about doing more, but about doing things smarter. By trusting your body's natural balance, maintaining clean linens, caring for your feet, being mindful with toilet hygiene, swapping underwear at night, managing the trash bin, keeping your bathrobe fresh, and cleaning under your arms after shaving, you are investing in your comfort, freshness, and dignity every single day. Every small choice builds up, shaping not only how you feel physically, but also your self-esteem and inner peace. Aging gracefully is not about perfection. It's about awareness, gentle adjustments, and self-respect. You deserve to feel clean, confident, and beautiful, not for others but for yourself.